My content.js file starts off with an array that I use to store images for the destination page. Since the design I chose requires to have images and the JSON data it was provided to us doesn't have any images, I obtained a couple of pictures for each data for the destinations and I stored it inside an array. Then the next code will be the AJAX XML HTTP request to the server to obtain data from the JSON file. Then the first thing that I'm updating is the feature area from the home page using query selectors and pseudocodes to obtain the specific tags that I need to update the data. Then next I updated the blog section in the home page. Even though originally in the HTML file I only typed in 3 articles, but the data has 6. So in the for loop I had it to loop 6 times to write in the codes to update the data inside of the section ID blog. Then it's still on the home page in the section for upcoming events. I did the exact same thing. This time using the looping through the length of the amount of on order list tags that is inside of the section of ID upcoming events. And the same thing I did for the hikers section, the new hiker section, and the about section. As I mentioned before, for the destination page, since that section the design it shows requires images, I have the images stored in an array, and then inside a for loop I am calling out the array per each index to insert that image inside the image tag. And then in the event section for the feature event of the event page, I did the same thing. The only thing is that I am not updating the image tag, that image that it shows on the design that I shows, the screenshot that I took for the event page. I'm not updating that. I'm thinking to update that using CSS. But the other data that it is provided in the JSON file, I am also updating it using the query selector and inner HTML. Then at the bottom, outside of the if statement, is where I have the open method where the XHTML HTTP request is going to be sending a method of get, since we are obtaining data from a file location, which is this link right here, and true, because we always want to send the request to be asynchronously. Therefore, JavaScript doesn't have to wait for the server's respond and can instead execute other codes while waiting for the server response. Now you may be wondering why in some sections I'm using query selectors, but in other cases I'm actually having a variable where I'm subscribing multiple strings into the variable and then insert that variable using inner HTML inside of the specific tag that I selected. The reason I chose this way is because in case of the event section for the event page where I have a scroll box that is displaying multiple events, the reason I chose this is because in case in the future the data needs to be updated, that more data needs to be put in, since in the HTML file of the event page I only have listed 3 events, regardless of what is the amount of event listed in the data. By doing it this way, it will create more on order lists to display the other event data. Unlike in the destination page where it's going to be displayed 8 data, as soon as the page loads, the only 8 data will be displaying. But for this specific project, since the JSON data only has 5 locations, so only 5 locations gonna display. So this is how the website is looking right now. So the next step will be to work with CSS so I can better organize the data that is being displayed. Thank you for watching.